Meeting called to order. This is the March 26, 2024 Municipal Oakland Council meeting. I'd like to call the roll, please. I actually do the statement of compliance.
Okay. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn no later than 10 p.m. unless the majority of the council members that are present vote to extend the time.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. We have somebody from the fire department, Chief, will lead us in the flag salute, please.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll stand for a moment of silence. Just want to remember the victims of the Francis Scott Key Bridge that collapsed with the accident that happened today. Be seated. Roll call.
Councilwoman Garfredo? Here. Councilman McCann?
here.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Here.
Councilman Saliani?
Here.
Councilman Slasinski?
Here.
Councilman Talamini?
Here.
And Mayor Kamala.
Present. All right, so I'm going to do the mayor's report, and then we're going to take the business out of order in a little bit to recognize our wrestlers and swearing in of our fire department. For the mayor's report, I want to report to the mayor, to the council and members of the public. Mr. Saliani will report on Easter egg hunt under his report. I want to talk about the Lennar property behind Indian Hills. We kind of got off to a bit of a rocky start with the developer back there. They had several violations. They were working on a weekend when they weren't supposed to. They were shut down. They started working at 6:45 in the morning, and they were also told to shut down at that time. There was a dispute with them cutting trees outside the area that they were supposed to be working on. And there was also a condition with the silt fencing because we had to make sure that there was no problems with the dirt flowing down into the rivers. So what I did was last week I had called them to the carpet, myself, the borough administrator, the engineer, representative from Lennar, had a meeting, and we reset expectations to let them know that we're not happy with the way, we're off to a rocky start and this is not a good path forward. I believe that the outcome of the meeting was that we reset expectations and hopefully we'll have compliance with the builder going forward. Let's talk about the dump real quick. The recycling center was supposed to be on West Oakland Ave. I know it's sort of concern for a lot of the residents. I had called Council President Saliani and Councilman Gofredo last week. We attended the county commissioners meeting in Hackensack. We made our case to put it on the record for the county commissioners who will be voting on this should it come in front of them. Okay. Ms. Gofredo went in front of them, Councilman Saliani and myself, and we got a concession out of them to come here and visit Oakland and the site. And we're having this meeting with them in the first week of April. Okay, it'll be members of our environmental commission, borough administrator, our planner, several council people, and including a couple residents that live in the area that are impacted. It's really important that they understand that if this should come to a vote, that they know what they're voting on, the impact it's going to have on our community and our water and our air and everything else that goes along with this. So we are now on record. They will be out here to visit us, and after next council meeting, I'll give you an update on how that meeting went. Bush Plaza, as you can see down by the end of Yawpo, the machines are working down there. The Bush Plaza is now getting built. We expect that to be completed sometime mid to end of April. And the painted clock will be installed sometime in June, July, and then we'll have a grand opening for that park. And it's really going to start cleaning up the whole downtown area. I don't know if you've noticed, there's a lot of work going on downtown. DPW's been out there working on the trees and the brush when you come off the highways and everything. That's all being cleaned up right now. It's been cleaned up, and now we're going to put mulch down there and really clean up the downtown areas in areas that we have control over. So it's, we're really putting a lot of effort into the downtown area, including signage. We're going to have new signage down there. Faded signs are going to be removed, and see if we can get rid of some of that sign pollution. Roads. I know there's a lot of roads is a big topic here in town. We are currently working on finalizing the road program here in town so that we can get to paving. There's been a lot of work that's been going on, not only from public service, but we also, with all the sewer work and water main work we've been doing in town, so we are really moving very expeditiously getting the paving program forward so we can get these roads buttoned up. I had also requested a meeting with public service so we can get our arms around when the completion of all the public service gas main work will be completed. And we also wanted to discuss when they're gonna start paving the roads for all the damage that they did for all the openings. And that's also on track. So we'll have updates as soon as that paving program starts. Also had a meeting with the New Jersey Department of Transportation. One of my pet peeves is when you come into town, first thing you see when you come into town is the West Oakland Ave guardrail that's been dented for about 15 years. DOT will be coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to be replacing all that dented guardrails, so we're going to create a more welcoming entrance into our town. They're also going to be doing litter patrol for all behind the fences and along 287 to get all that garbage out of there, so that's going to be taken care of in the next month or so. I want to announce the Styrofoam Drive, April 6th, from 9 to 12 p.m. That'll be held behind the library. And another program that I'm also putting together is called the Hometown Heroes Program, flag program. You know when you go to other towns and they celebrate Veterans Day and the 4th of July and they got the pictures of veterans and people in our community that served? So I've been in contact with the American Legion and the Marine Corps League here in Oakland, and we are working together in a partnership so that we can have Hometown Heroes flags put in place of going down the downtown corridor for the major holidays, 4th of July, Veterans Day, and Memorial Day. And also put some nice flags in the downtown and really, let's bring patriotism really back and put it on, showcase it here in the town. That's the end of my report. I would like somebody from the council to make a motion to suspend the bylaws so that we can move right ahead to the swearing in of our firefighter.
Well, motion to suspend the bylaws so we swear in the firefighter.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that being said, let's bring up Anthony Mazzala and his family. Hold the Bible or? Yours. All right, where's the Bible? Is it back there? There we go. Let's go this way so you can take some pictures. I'll let you hold the Bible. So before we get started, I had the privilege of meeting Anthony yesterday on the back of the fire truck, and I was asking Anthony, and he didn't know who I was. I said, so Anthony, who are you? And he goes, well, I'm Anthony Mazzola. And I said, well, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm the new junior firefighter. I said, that's terrific. So I asked Anthony, he said, so what got you interested in the fire service? So Anthony gave it a little thought, and he told me that it was his friend Andrew from Galloway Township that talked you into this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So I want to understand why he wanted to be a firefighter, so we certainly look forward to him joining the ranks, and I see you got support of the firefighters here as well. With that being said, why don't you put your hand on the Bible, and you're going to repeat after me. I, Anthony Mazzola,
I, Anthony Mazzola,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments established
and the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office of junior firefighter
and perform all the duties of the office of a junior firefighter
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Why don't you just go down and shake everybody's hand, and I'll have you sign this. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you for your.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, thank you for doing this. Congratulations, thank you.
Congratulations, thank you.
Anthony, one more thing. Once you sign this official, it's a deal. Sign right there.
That's for the new fire truck.
What did you say, Chief? Contract for what?
Can't contract with mine. That's what I thought, yeah. Yes, yes.
Okay, at this time, since we've suspended the bylaws, we'd like to honor our wrestlers here. Is Austin Wall here? Also, why don't you have you come up and we'll have you introduce the wrestlers and myself.
sweatshirt on.
I just got out of work.
Just came to support.
Come on, Russ, your liaison.
Good, how are you? Congrats, Ashley. What's up? Suits and sweats.
So Austin, why don't you explain to the public what we have here as far as the state champions and what led to this, and give us the backstory.
Okay, our wrestlers spent the year working hard, practicing, and at the end of the year, they have a state tournament. And unlike most sports, where everything is regionalized, the wrestlers actually meet down in Trenton at the Cure Insurance Arena, and it's everybody in the entire state. So, we go through this a lot at the Rec Commission. We celebrate a lot of teams that win league championships and divisional championships, and it's really nice. But wrestling is a pretty special sport in that everybody gets together from the entire state, from Cape May all the way up to Bergen County, and you see who the one champion is. So just to qualify for states is, for me, is the equivalent of any league championship that we celebrate or divisional championship that we celebrate up here. And it's a heck of an honor, and the kids should feel really good about it, and their parents should feel really good about it. And that's what we have. So we had some guys who placed top 8 down at the state tournament. They give you medals 1 through 8 because, I don't know how many high schools there are in New Jersey. It's about 350 high schools, so you can kind of scale that to what it would be like in terms of high schools. And the kids did a fantastic job. So we have some state medalists here, and we have some of our state qualifiers here, and it's really nice that they should all be celebrated for their hard work and their dedication.
Absolutely.
You want me to call the
You can
shot?
call them out. What we'll do is we'll line them right up in front of us, and then we'll...
Okay, Shane Wendelowski. Rachel Laterra.
Stay up there.
Yeah, come over here. Stand right there.
Carter Rowan. Eli Ballantine. Colton Barrett. Jordan Madonna. And that's who's all in attendance tonight.
That's it?
Maybe we could take a group picture?
Yeah, let's put everybody in front here, and
All
we'll
right.
have a quick picture.
Mike, you want to get in the picture?
Great.
You're going to leave me by myself, huh? Okay, thanks, Mike.
Eric, do you want me to?
Guys, go by coach, go in front of coach.
Cole, line up over here.
Yeah, move over.
Go by coach.
Come on. Rachel's in front. Good. They don't want to take a picture of me, come on.
Oh, wow. Come on, everybody.
Would be official. Yeah, take a picture for the town. You gotta be.
Come on, stay there, Coach.
Christmas.
You did all the work.
What about
Got
Thanksgiving?
it.
Don't move yet.
Stay still with it.
Get it, Kath.
Good
more.
job.
One more.
Guys.
One more.
Colton.
One more call.
Still in Cole.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Got it.
Good job. Good job, everybody. Thank you.
Good job, guys. Nice work.
Literally too much wrestling.
Yeah, that's it.
Same thing.
No, wait. Okay. Just give it just a minute. All right, do I have a motion to unsuspend the order of business?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're up to open to public comment. Anybody wish to address the council?
I make a motion that we open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hello, Ann Cedar, 33 Winding Ridge. I had a couple questions about the agenda today. The first question I had was about the ordinance. I think there's only one, or is there more than one? I think
There's one.
just the one. So I just had a question about, if you guys could explain what was the determining factor for needing to increase the 3.5%, or the budget by the 3.5%? And is that going to be addressed or voted, is that going to be addressed as part of the presentation in April? And that's the budget presentation in April, right? So I had a question about that. I had a question about Resolution 24-112, to read the budget by title only. If you could explain what that is and what the purpose of reading it by title only. And then I had a question as to why the budget would be only posted at the municipal building and copies only available if it's requested, as opposed to having it on the website or maybe an email from the mayor. And I just wanted to confirm that this is the budget presentation that's going to be on April 30th. I had a question about, no I didn't, but Resolution 24-123 I believe has a typo in it. I think it's supposed to say December 31st, 2024. I had a question about Resolution 24-126. I was curious what the ongoing legal services regarding Ramapo Mountain Lakes that the borough is involved in. I didn't think that we were involved in anything having to do with RML, but that was their association with their residents, but if you could explain that. And then I wanted to make a suggestion that sometimes I notice that when you have public comment and residents come up and ask questions, our questions aren't responded to. I know there's not supposed to be debate and whatnot, so maybe we could amend the bylaws to have some type of section after public comment where you can address the questions and answer them, since that isn't done every time that we speak, especially when now the second public comment's gone. I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
Anybody else? Not seeing any? Motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have approval of the minutes, March 12th, 2024?
So moved.
Next second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Goffredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann, sorry.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Sosibsky?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Do we have approval of minutes, executive session, March 12th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Goffredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Solsinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
All right, moving on to special announcements. Authorized raffle RL 1492 for a 50/50 for the Mothers Club on 5/17/2024 at Portobello's, New Jersey, for cancer research and an Oakland resident battling cancer. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Authorized raffle license RL 1493 for the raffle for the Mothers Club on May 17th, 2024 at Portobello's, Oakland, New Jersey, for cancer research for a resident battling cancer. Is that
So
it?
moved.
Second.
Okay, so yeah, they're two separate ones, okay.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have a couple appointments. First one is going to be appointment to the Arts Committee. This is for mayor and council. I'm appointing Joanne Bender. We have, and this is with council consent. All in favor? Any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appointment to the zoning board. I'm recommending Giuseppe Caparelli. This is also with council consent.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have one more appointment to the Shade Tree. This is a mayoral appointment. I'm appointing Chapa Russo. All right, moving on to the budget. Well, your question is going to be answered in this. We're going to be introducing ordinance 24 Code 944. I would like to now turn this over to our CFO, or whoever wants to take it, our CFO or administrator, who would like to
Sure.
handle this.
So
Walk us through the
let's-
process.
Thank you, Mayor. So there are a number of actions here to introduce the budget this evening, resolutions 111 through 112, 13, 17, as well as the introduction of the ordinance. So we'll go through what each of those does, why they're there, so the public understands. In terms of a budget presentation, I do just want to point out that we've had two presentations, an overall presentation, as well as one that was department-specific, two separate budget meetings totaling about 4 hours of time. Those videos of those meetings are posted up on YouTube for anybody that would like to see them. And the budget materials that are introduced tonight will be on the website post-meeting. What you'll hear from David is some of the language there in the resolution that you're talking about, where it's at Borough Hall and whatnot. That's just sort of standard language for the resolution. But they will be available electronically as well. And David, with that, if you'd like to sort of walk through the various actions that we're taking tonight.
Certainly, the ordinance to allow us to establish a cap bank and exceed the municipal budget appropriation of the state restricts you to a 2.5% increase on things that are identified as inside cap. We're actually only going up by 1.53% inside cap, but we do the ordinance anyway so that we have the ability to establish a cap bank. So what we don't use in terms of that percentage this year, if we need it in a future year, you can bank it for 2 years. So it's kind of a standard practice for municipalities to do the resolution for the COLA, even if it's not required for this year's budget. This year's budget is not required. The resolution for self-examination, this allows us to go through the budget process and adopt the budget without state review. Every 3 years we're required to do state review. We are not in that cycle this year. We will be under state review of the budget next year. Next resolution authorizing the read by title only. When I was on the council, I made that mistake once, and I had to read 86 pages of the budget out loud, and you don't want to do that if you don't have to. So that's why we read it by title only, and again, we will post everything on the website. We'll be up there tomorrow morning. It will be the presentations that we've made, the user-friendly budget, the official state budget document, and I think those are the 3 items that we'll get up tomorrow morning. And the final is the certificate of compliance with EEOC. This is a equal opportunity employment certificate that we have to do in order to have the budget approved by the state.
Thank you.
And
Anything?
then 113 itself is actually the resolution. That's the action you actually take to introduce the budget itself.
And this is typical, this is what we've done every year, the past year, that nothing is new to this, right? This is pretty much pro forma.
Yeah, same process as in prior years.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Not seeing any. Counselor, I just have a question. Do we introduce the ordinance or the resolutions first? What order do we do that?
Doesn't matter, I would do the ordinance first, and then the resolutions you do together as a consent.
Okay. All right, with that being said, do I have a motion to introduce 24 Code 944, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-45.14?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Councilwoman Grafado?
Yes.
Grafado? Councilman McCann?
Abstain.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to have the supporting resolutions. We'll do that as a consent agenda. That'll be 24-111 through 24-117. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Grafado?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Abstain.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes, the only, we're doing 111, 112, 113, 117?
Correct.
Right.
Okay, that's, yeah, because you said 11 through 17, and it's not,
It's not consecutive.
yeah, it's not consecutive. Yes.
That everybody? Okay. Final adoption will be the April 30th council meeting. All right, moving on to resolutions.
And Mayor,
Yes.
if I could, I'm not sure if it
Sure.
was mentioned, I believe the public hearing on the cap rate ordinance will be the 9th.
April 9th, okay. Thank you. Okay, resolutions 24-114 through 24-127, consent agenda. Does anybody wish any pulled out?
I'll just pull 126 real quick.
26? Let's put out 24-123. I believe one of the residents had a question about that. Anything else?
I think it was 126.
It was 126 that the question.
126.
Oh, it was 126?
Yep.
Okay. That's it?
There's no question on it.
Okay, that's another one pulled out? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve 24-114 to 127 with 126 pulled out?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes?
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
All right, pulling out 24-126. Mr. Coons, care to give some explanation?
Right, well, we're not involved in any active litigation right now. There are sometimes calls for the use of an attorney to look at certain matters, negotiations, discussions that we have where we would like to have some legal counsel. If you're going to notice that the not-to-exceed amount here is rather small at $7,500 for the year. As you know, we have had some discussions with RML earlier this year. And the decision was made last year to keep Brian Chakowski on board to handle that matter because of his prior familiarity with the issues that were involved.
Yeah, I mean, several times we've had people from RML come here asking for assistance. And Mr. Chakowski, who's been involved in negotiations for 20 years at least, has the history, background in order to talk to them about this. So they want us to get involved, but we are handling that with kid gloves, let me put it that way, so far. But it's because they've asked us to get involved.
Any further discussion?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes?
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Slasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
We have no ordinances, we have nothing on work session. Does anybody on the council have any new business they wish to bring forward?
I have some new
Councilman Talamini first.
So, at recreation last night at the meeting, there was some discussion about people using the tennis courts. People are giving out the code. And so you didn't buy a badge and you give it to your friend and they go in there and they play tennis without buying a badge and some kids have the codes and they're going onto the court and just, you know, they don't belong there. So there was some discussion that maybe we could put the fobs on the lock and then maybe just have some kind of a fee attached to the fob that when you return the fob, you get the money back. But this way, we'll know who's going on the tennis court, who's not, and.
It won't be any different.
But
If I give you a pass or I give you my fob, it's the same thing.
But then I know you're on it, and if somebody's saying you don't belong there, then we can, and then there.
How would you know that, though?
Well,
You'd have to have a monitor there, right?
Sure, and then there was talk about Franklin Lakes has like a stiffer ordinance about it, that the police would be able to do something.
Don't take a look at the ordinance.
So if we could do something like that.
I
What
don't
was,
think the fob would be anything.
question?
Yeah.
What was the opinion of the rec commission on this?
They seem to think that fobs would be a good way to go.
Any other further discussion?
Not right now, other than I think it's an interesting idea. I know it's been an issue in the past with the sharing of that code. Mike and I have tried a number of approaches, including using monitors who get abused. So that may be doable. I only have a conversation with our IT coordinator tomorrow about it. And I'll see, how we can, potentially
Maybe in the
implement
ordinance,
something like that.
you could say if you give the code out or the fob out, you get suspended from using the court for 2 years or whatever. Have a penalty attached to it, because there's no penalty. Yeah, sure, here.
Yeah, there was some thought that Franklin Lakes had a better ordinance.
Does Franklin Lakes have actual people checking the bags
I
and fobs?
I don't know.
There's no teeth in the ordinance.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm
We
saying.
can't do anything.
No,
There's
you
no teeth in it at all.
You gotta put in there, you suspend it for a year or 2 or whatever you
You're not gonna
decide.
do it, I can't do it.
No, I'm just saying.
All right, so
we.
we'll take it back. We'll discuss this internally. and
Okay.
We'll move that forward. Anybody else have any new business? Councilman McCann.
Mayor, as you probably know, the governor signed the Fair Housing Act a couple of days ago. And what this is back in the 1980s, through 2 New Jersey Supreme Court decisions, it's unique to New Jersey, no other state has really followed us, where each community is responsible to maintain a housing that contains a moderate to low-income housing component in each town, whether it's a municipality, borough, so forth. So for years, it's gone back and forth. We once had a state entity called Council on Affordable Housing, which was a commission that was appointed by the governor. Under the Christie administration, Christie failed to make appointments around 2014. And so what happened was, in order to enforce the law, it went to the courts, it went to the superior courts in each county. And what the law basically says is that for X amount of property that you have, that you have in your town, and there's a component whether or not you have sewage or not, and things of that nature. The bottom line is, every community is responsible to maintain low-income and moderate-income properties. The beneficiary of this law since the 80s has been the developers of the state of New Jersey. It's an economic boom for them. They come in and they basically say to a town, look, you're not meeting your obligation for low-income housing or moderate-income housing, and we're going to come in and build a project, and if you don't agree to the density that we want, they would take you to court, and most 99.9999999% of the time, the municipalities will lose. It was a loser, plus it's a fee-shifting component because it's considered a right guaranteed by New Jersey. So, after Christie didn't make the appointments, it went back to the courts, and for the most part, for the last several years, the judges in Bergen County have been making the call on what density requirements were for each community. And that was good, because it was a local judge, it was a judge in our county that would have to live with those decisions. Well, it started last October, rumblings in Trenton to take the power back out of the hands of the local judges and put it into the bureaucracy in the state. Well, they did one better. They just codified a bunch of law, essentially from the initial draft of the legislation. The legislation's it's to Rube Goldberg of trying to figure it out. A bunch of attorneys in northern New Jersey have been talking about it and looking at it. It's, from what we can tell right now, it's very bad in terms of density requirements for a town like us. In fact, I don't know of any suburban town with any arboreal areas that it's going to be good for in terms of the amount of density. The enforcement provision is serious. To fight these types of lawsuits is extremely costly to the taxpayers' money. If you've been on government councils and through the years, everyone's familiar with it, but I find that the public is generally not familiar with it. But one of the things that we can do in Oakland and some of the surrounding communities too is, I think what we need to start doing is, instead of just reacting to the changes of the law or these requirements that are going to be arbitrarily put on us, and it's going to happen very fast. This year is a lot of timetables. I think it's good that maybe what we need to do is put it together some sort of committee, ad hoc, whatever you want to call it, some sort of forward planning committee, because it's very involved. It's really not in the hands of the zoning board or the planning board, it's really in the hands of the council now. And we're coming out of what is commonly known as round 3, and we're coming into round 4 next year, and that's when the new law is going to take effect, January next year. So, and it's going to have a long-term effect. It's going to have, in my opinion, a deleterious effect on the character of our town. But one of the things we need to do is get ahead of it. And the Forward Planning Committee is, I've done this when I was in Cresskill. It's not just dealing with the low-income housing or the moderate-income housing component. Forward Planning Committee can encompass a lot of what a borough wants to do in terms of population, much like a school board does with their demographic studies and stuff. And that way, our government here could be proactive in putting together maybe a 3, 5, and 10-year plan through a committee like that. And the committee can comprise of citizens, professionals, anyone that would be of help in terms of trying to draw up plans for the town and what we hope to see the town look like 10 years from now. That's my thought.
Thank you, Mr. McCann. That raises an interesting point. Mr. Coons, are we scheduling our planner to be here for the April 9th meeting, correct?
Yeah, she'll be here on the 9th, and I think our affordable housing attorney will be here as well.
So that'll really give us an opportunity for us and to also educate the public on the new law, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. McCann, I like your idea. Why don't we get together after, we'll sidebar, we'll start, see if we can get this thing going. Anybody else have any new business?
Mayor, just so everyone's kind of aware of what kind of dates we're looking at.
Yeah.
So under the previous affordable housing round, we filed a declaratory judgment, and basically the court then decided our number. Now the state's going to tell us our number by December 1st, and then we'll have until January 31st to challenge that number, and then it's only a 2-month period for you that they expect that to be decided. And in the meanwhile, if you're going to challenge your number, you still have to have your new housing element done by March 31st, 2025.
Wow.
So we're really talking about a pretty quick turnaround here.
So really, we got to do this sooner than later, because we have to update our master plan with this and everything?
We better.
Okay.
And again, that's part of, getting input from citizens and committee, businesses in the community. Look, Oakland is a boreal suburb. We have a lot of property with trees. We have great wildlife here. Maybe a little bit too much deer, but our community our type of a community is generally targeted in this type of legislation. And as the attorney points out, there's a reason why these timelines are compressed. They don't want us to react, but it's also expensive, because we have to engage our planner. We have to engage just to determine what that number is. And as I said, as Matt pointed out, for the 3rd round, the number was provided by the court. When you have a judge in the county, they tend to be a little bit more sensitive to the needs of the county. When you have someone in Trenton telling us what the number is going to be, they don't care about Oakland. They don't care about Wayne. They don't care about Franklin Lakes. It's really what's driving those numbers is what they feel and what they think belongs in Oakland. Some people, some attorneys have commented that ever since the 80s when this happened, this is the urbanization of the suburbs by the state. And I completely agree with that. It seems to be a deliberate attempt to change the character of the town, where we want to move, where we want to live, where we want to do our rec. And but there's some strategies we can put in place to make sure that Oakland has a modicum of voice in what's going to happen.
Thank you for
John, is this committee a full-time committee or project-based, or?
Well, that would be for us to discuss.
Okay.
But it worked really well. And again, the important part of it, Steve, is it isn't just the government, it isn't just the main council. It's getting other people involved, like I said, businesses, people on rec, people that have a stake at, what the demographics are gonna look like. And it's just an opportunity, and, we don't know everything. If someone says, a member of the committee says, hey, did you know that this is coming? So-and-so wants to build a recycling center. Okay, so it helps, it just, instead of reacting, we get to be proactive about it.
Anyone else have any comments on this on the council? Not seeing anybody else have any new business? Not seeing any new business, does anybody have any old business?
Yes, I do.
Councilman Pignatelli.
At the last council meeting, I brought up about having a plaque for Fred Burks put by our OCC room there. Fred was involved in OCC 25, 30 years ago here. He really put it together for us. He's helped us make all the changes and the upgrades that we've made, and it was very sorrowful to see him pass away. Ryan from the OCC had sent us all, I think we all got it, a text, an email about the plaque, which I do agree. There's a nice picture of him that we could have imposed on the plaque and put it by the OCC room and have his wife come here and have a little bit of a ceremony, because he really did work hard. He worked very, very hard. So I would like to move forward with that.
Second. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
So who are we gonna have take the bull by the horns for the plaque?
As far
Ryan?
as administration take care of it?
I'll talk to Ryan.
Ryan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll talk to Ryan about it.
thank you, thank you. That's it.
Any other old business?
Just, do we have just an update on the bridge, what's going on with the project?
Mr. Kearns, it's funny, that should just come up.
Yeah, we're in the process of scheduling what will probably turn out to be first of monthly project status meetings with the engineer and the contractor. We've also been working on implementing a number of items that came up from the public meeting that we had regarding traffic concerns, things like reflectors and various signage that we've been getting quotes for. So there's a lot of that sort of work in process right now.
Yep, and also, Mr. Cruz, also, there's a whole section on the website as well, once we start getting these monthly meetings, so we can start pushing information out to the public so that they can see, where we are in progress.
Yes.
Anybody else? All right, committee reports. I don't know, Mr. Tomini, you look comfortable?
We met, I had a rec meeting last night. We met that, I missed the arts committee meeting because of they moved it, but the rec meeting, we talked about the locks on the bathrooms and some lights on Truman Field. We're trying to figure that out, and I just want to say thank you to the committee. They do a great job. Austin, you see what he did with the wrestlers. He's very enthusiastic, and he's a little bit of a lightning rod. They seem to tease him a little at the meetings, but it's good. It's good for the committee. He's the wrestling program's amazing from just how much it's grown. And just thank you to the volunteers. Thank you.
Councilman?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For the Environmental Commission, our next meeting is April the 2nd at 7 p.m. Also, there's going to be a town cleanup, team up to clean up our parks in town on April the 20th, 2024. Rain date would be the April 27th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Meet at the rec field at the Danny D. building, and you could register by email, and that email address is ec@oakland-nj.org. They need you to provide your name, email address, and the number of participants, or you could register the day of the cleanup at the Danny Diddley building at 9 a.m. Please wear long sleeve shirts, pants, sturdy shoes, gloves, and bring bug spray. You'll be assigned and accompanied to your park cleanup area. Remember, together we can make a difference. After cleanup, lunch will be hosted at Great Oak Park. And the Board of Health will be next meeting for the Board of Health is April the 16th at 6:30 PM at the library. And that's it, Mayor, thank you.
Councilman Saliani, President?
DPW asked me to inform the residents that the water department, beginning tomorrow, will be starting their annual fire hydrant flush. All fire hydrants will be flushed, pressure tested, inspected as required by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. This program is expected to do throughout the summer. There will be no impact to anyone's service. Board of Ed, local schools, Dr. Cafaro asked me to let the residents know that on April 29th at 6:30 PM at VMS is the budget hearing for the K-8 schools. She wants to make sure all residents know and are available to attend. Also, a good note from the Board of Ed, thanks to the lack of snow, Oakland K-8 schools will be closing on Thursday, June 20th. As the mayor alluded to, Bush Plaza, we've started construction, and public events, the Easter egg hunt was on Sunday. Great job, everyone, get through all the rain that happened on Saturday, and the amount of volunteers that were there, it was funny. There were 6,000 eggs put out, and when it started, like 6,000 kids were running right towards each other, and almost going to hurt each other. But it was a great event. All the volunteers from the Public Events Committee, the Access for All was there. I don't want to list names. I might miss someone. I don't want to offend anybody. But I want to thank all the volunteers for that. It was a very, very well-run event. So it was a good time. Thank you very much.
Councilman McCann?
Last week, the Public Safety Committee met, and so did the Administration Committee. Some of the action items were taken tonight with regard to, from the Administration Committee, appointments were made tonight. And on the Public Safety Committee was with the police and fire and OEM. We're just putting the succession placement plan for the of anticipated changes to the police department this year, and that's it.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. From the public safety, in February, police officers conducted 347 motor vehicle stops and issued 382 motor vehicle summonses. Officers also made one arrest for possession of narcotics. From the Green Team, on April 7th at 11 a.m., First Sunday hikes continue. Participants meet at the lower level parking lot of Skyline Drive. Registration is required, and you can register at firstsundayhikes.oakland.eventbrite.com. On Saturday, April 6th at 9 a.m., they will host the Styrofoam Drive at One Municipal Plaza. Volunteers are needed, so if you can help out, that would be great. From the library, this Thursday at 6:30, they will have the floral wreath craft for adults. Registration is required. And on April 2nd, they will have the spring decluttering presentation at 6:30. Registration is also required. On April 4th, they will host Seed Saving Basics program with Bracco Farms at 6:30 p.m. Registration also required. On Saturday, April 6th, they will have their first children's yoga class, which will be part of a 4-class series that allows children to engage with and learn the basics of yoga. And on Tuesday, April 9th at 6:30 p.m., Yoga with Sonia kicks off again. Let's see, for the kids, they will have weekly story times. Tuesday, preschool story time, Thursday, tots, library club, and Fridays, terrific 2s and 3s. Check out the library's website for registration and other information. And lastly, the OPL will also have free eclipse glasses for residents for the solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th.
Thank you,
That's all I
Councilman.
have.
Yeah. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. I've already done my committee reports for the month, but I would like to just highlight on Sunday, this past Sunday, the Easter egg hunt with Access for All. It was nice. It was cold, but the kids that were there really enjoyed themselves and had a quiet area, and it was really nice. Access for All's next meeting will be April 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Senior Center. Shade Tree Commission will meet on April 1st at 7:30 PM in the Senior Center. One more announcement, OCC, the Easter egg hunt is currently on Oakland TV at 8:30 AM, and another time to be scheduled, but you could also see it on YouTube. OCC's next meeting is May 6th at 7 PM, right here in this room.
Mayor, before you close, there's one thing. It's Shade Tree, Environmental Commission, et cetera, et cetera. We had, Mr. Coons, I believe we got a $20,000 grant for a lanternfly program.
Actually, we'll be applying for that.
We're gonna be applying for it, okay.
We received the $15,000 grant last year for that.
Okay.
This is the follow-up program for that from the state. You approved that grant submittal tonight. It's for $20,000 over a 3-year grant period.
I just wanted to, we didn't explain that.
Not seeing anything else, so bills to be paid, Ms. Gofredo.
Thank you. Total bills to be paid, $1,704,018.95. So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Gofredo?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Councilman Sasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Talamini?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
All in favor?
Councilwoman
All in
Gofredo?
favor?
Oh, it's all in favor?
All in favor.
Aye. All in favor, aye.
All in favor?
All right, next council meeting will be held Thursday, April 9th, 2024, at 7 PM here at Council Chambers. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Anxious to help.